Hi, I'm Desmond Durham.
And I'm Yavor Stojnic. Today, we will be interviewing Anna Gauthier, assistant coach for Benjamin basketball and basketball player herself for Darcy McGee High School. She's been a basketball player for a few years now, starting in grade 7, but there was a gap due to COVID. She started playing basketball just for fun and new friends, but it became her favorite sport. Her inspiration for the past years has been her mom and her 2 friends who play on the court with her. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you for having me.
Firstly, what position do you play on the court, and what do you feel as your best skills?
I play guard on the court, and I feel like my best skill is staying positive, because it's really in your head on the court. It's really, that's where the whole game is, basically, just in your head. And I think staying positive during the whole game is really important.
How do you see your role as a member of the Darcy basketball team?
I feel like I have a big role. I feel like because I'm one of the seniors with some other girls, that we have to show people that it's okay if we mess up, because everyone messes up. We try to keep everyone sane on the court and with each other. So I think it's really important.
And do you feel any pressure because of that?
Just a little, but it's a good pressure, because you have a role to play and you mean something on the team.
Can you describe one of your best games ever?
I think one of my best games was when we were in our final game last year, and it was before we went into provincials. We lost, but I think it was a really good game. We really connected during that game, I guess, because there was so much emotion because we really wanted to win, and then it was just really intense. I think that was our best game.
What do you do when you have a bad game? What advice do you have for young players when they aren't having a great game?
I think you just need to step back and breathe. Something that helps me is I have a friend on the court who always tells me to breathe whenever I rush myself or I don't feel confident. And I think advice that I would give is just to take a breath and remember it's just a game. If you're in your head, you can't really play to the best that you can.
Do you have any rituals that you do before every game?
I just talk to the teammates, ask them how they're feeling, and then...
Where do you hope to go with basketball once you leave Darcy?
I think I want to continue playing in Seja, because basketball is something that makes me happy, so I think I want to continue it for as long as I can.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I think that if you can, you should join team sports, get involved with helping other people who want to learn. I think it's really good. It demonstrates leadership. It makes you feel like you've done something if you get involved. And you create friendships that you wouldn't create if you hadn't joined teams and stuff.
So do you think sports are a good way to branch out and make new friends?
Definitely, yeah.
And are there any shout-outs?
I like to just shout out to my team. I love them. Love all the players I've met. I've made a lot of new friends from basketball, including girls that have graduated and that I would never have met.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alexandra McNamara Killian. Today's guest is the principal of Symmes Junior High School and Darcy McGee High School, Miss Laine. This is her 4th year as principal. Before that, she was a vice principal at our school, and before that, she was a math teacher. She decided to work at our school because the person that interviewed her for her job, former principal Mr. Singfield, told her about how wonderful the school community was. Welcome, Miss Laine.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. It's lovely to be here.
We'll get right into the questions. Was being a principal always your plan?
That's a great question with an easy answer, and the answer is no. It was actually not part of my plan. I went to university and studied something completely different, and actually did a pre-med degree before I decided to switch gears and get into education.
Wow. Okay.
So I didn't think I would ever be here, but here I am.
What motivates you in your job?
What motivates me in my job? Well, I'd like to say firstly that I'm deeply inspired by my colleagues. So the teachers that are in this building are just the best, and so I really look to them for inspiration because they're so amazing. But even more than that is working with young people and seeing our students and watching them be successful in whatever that is for them. So for some kids it's academically, for some kids it's socially, watching them thrive and grow and mature, and for some kids it's doing other things in the school community. And I'm so lucky because I get to work with students from the time that they're 12 often. Sometimes we even have 11-year-olds that start at Symmes, but usually it's around the age of 12. And I get to be with them until they graduate. And so I'm kind of there for a long period of their young life, and the difference between a 12-year-old and a 17-year-old is huge. And so getting to watch them over the course of their high school career is really, really motivating.
Yeah, it seems like it would be.
Mm-hmm.
What skill have you learned in your experience as a principal?
What skill have I learned? Quick decision making. So that's something that I have to do often, is I have to make good decisions, but I have to make them fast. And I also have to come up with creative solutions to difficult problems. It's not always like a straight line between like something that we need to work on and then the solution. So really considering the best way to solve problems with creativity.
What do you see as the greatest strengths that you bring to being a principal?
Thank you for that question, Alexandra. I think my greatest strengths as a principal would be that I am a pretty calm and steady person. I don't often get overly upset or anything like that, so I'm pretty steady. I'm patient, so I'm patient with our students, I think. And I think that I'm fair and I'm consistent. And I think those are all good qualities to have if you're a school principal.
Yeah, they seem like very good qualities to have. What are your challenges?
This can be a challenging place sometimes. And it's a very dynamic environment. So it's fast paced and it changes all of the time. And so sometimes I'll come to work and I've got my to-do list and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do this and then I'm going to go for my podcast interview and then I'm going to do that. And then something will happen, whatever it might be. And then I have to change everything. And so that would be a definite challenge, would be figuring out how to get all of the things done in a shorter time frame when you're always getting thrown sort of curveballs.
What projects are you currently working on to improve the school?
Projects that I'm really thinking about right now, and I know that it's crazy because it's still only January, but I'm really thinking about next year already. So part of my job is planning and organizing what the subsequent year is going to be, what it's going to look like. And so what I'm really focused on right now is developing and coming up with new options and ideas for our students to participate in, both academically, so some new courses that this is mostly for our senior students when they get into taking their electives and things like that in grade 11. So coming up with creative new course offerings for those students that is interesting to them and that will also spark their passion and perhaps have them thinking about post-secondary stuff. So I'm really kind of thinking a lot about that. And then I'm also really focused for this year and moving forward on continuing to add new extracurricular activities for our students and working on saying yes to all of the ideas that come across my desk, whether it be from staff or from students, like this podcast club, so that we can continue to have a really rich experience for our students.
So you think far ahead and everything?
Yep, I do.
Can you describe one of the most interesting things that has happened while being a principal?
Oh my gosh, well, maybe it's a boring response right now, but I have to say COVID-19. I really do. That was the most unexpected thing that, well, it happened to all of us, right? So it was the most unexpected thing, I think, for all of us. And as the person that was in charge of the school, and that happened during my first year as principal, so I hadn't even completed a first year yet when that happened, and it really flipped everything upside down. So we had to rethink everything we were doing, how we were doing it, how we were going to support students remotely when they came back into the building, how we were going to support them physically in school. So yeah, it was challenging, it was interesting, and we all really learned a lot during that experience.
Yeah. What is your favorite thing about Symmes and Darcy?
Oh my gosh, that's an easy question. My favorite thing about Symmes and Darcy are the people that are here. So I really believe, and I guess other principals might say the same thing, but I really am 100% certain that we have the best students and the best staff in the world. So I love our people.
Yeah. What do you enjoy doing when you aren't working?
Ooh, when I'm not working, I like to do lots of things. I love to watch my daughter play hockey and doing anything with my daughter. I have a girl who is in middle school herself right now. She's in grade 8. So I love spending time with her. I love watching her play hockey and doing, whatever she'll do with her mom, I like doing, cooking and all of those kinds of things. I love snuggling with my dog and walking my dog and playing with my dog. And I love being outside. And I've even surprised myself because I used to think that I wasn't a winter person, but I've really been enjoying getting outside in the winter.
Are there any specific winter activities that you enjoy doing?
This one's boring. I like to walk, so that's a real boring one. But I've had some really great skating experiences recently. My family just went downhill skiing in Vermont near the Christmas break, so I really enjoyed doing that. And I'm not loving it yet, but I'm telling myself that I'm going to love it one of these days. I'm trying to cross-country ski as well.
Is there anything you would like to add that we haven't asked you today?
No, I think the only thing that I would add is that I'm just so honored that you thought to speak with me and that you asked me to be here today.
Well, thank you so much for coming out today. It was a pleasure to have you.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
The Sylvius Archives is a fictional, fear-themed horror narrative. It follows River Meredith and his time as the newly appointed archivist at the Sylvius Institution, which researches the paranormal and things of the like. Listen along as he struggles to reorganize statements, stories of the public regarding their unknown and unresearched supernatural occurrences.
Statement number 0305005 about Natalie Turner regarding mysterious footsteps at nighttime, given May 3rd, 2005. Recording by River Meredith, taken on the 11th of April, 2016 at the Sylvius Institution. Statement begins. Like most people, I was afraid of the dark when I was younger, but I got over that fear. I didn't. I sleep with my lights on, and I keep my hallway and front doors lights on too. I'll admit it, I think there's something in there, but it was always baseless fear. It wasn't until recently that I started hearing it. Footsteps. A quiet but certain thunk, thunk, thunk in the middle of the night. My lights always turn off during that time too. I live alone, so it couldn't be a relative or anyone I know. I think it started in January when I first started dating my boyfriend, Marcus DuPont. Ever since I brought him over to my apartment, I've heard them. It used to be once a week, but it's daily now. I'm awake at night, listening to footsteps. They're loud, and I swear sometimes it's scratching at my door, demanding to be let in, but I won't let it happen. That's why I came here. I can't dare to open the door to my room to see what's lurking. I'm afraid that whatever it is, it'll see me and it'll tear me apart. It can't come in unless I let it. That's what I want to believe. No matter how much it begs me to be let in, to rip me to shreds, I won't let it. It can't. I'm hoping there's some normal explanation for this. That's why I came here. Something that explains everything that's been happening to me. Statement ends. A pretty short statement. I managed to find this one in a box labeled Statements from 2009. If you've been listening, you'll find that this statement is not, in fact, from 2009. This statement wouldn't be too much of a concern if it weren't for the fact that Marcus DuPont went missing several months before the statement was given to us, in December of 2004. There were no records of him being found, and all our attempts to receive a follow-up from Miss Natalie Turner have proved to be useless. She has since moved out of her apartment in 2007, and we were unable to locate her. We will keep searching for any other information concerning the statement in the meanwhile. Recording ends.
Thank you for listening to our Symmes podcast, featuring Symmes Junior High School and Darcy McGee High School. Thanks for listening.